My 5 top tips that helped me build my quads. All right, my quads are by far my strongest body part, and even some people, when they train legs with me, they're like, it's the craziest legs I've seen for someone that is natural. I'm not trying to boast, I'm just telling you that it is my strong point. Yes, there is a genetic part of it, but there are also a few things that I did that helped me, and things that I haven't spoke about in my previous video, so check this out till the end. Number 1, high reps. So at a certain point, I started training with a pro bodybuilder. I went to Toronto. Anyways, long story short, he told me, you want big legs, you gotta do high reps, sets of 20. In my mind, it's like, what? Sets of 20 for legs? They're gonna get skinny. How come can I build muscles with sets of 20? I started doing that, and guess what? My legs started blowing up. Yes, you still go to failure. You still push a fairly heavy weight. I'm not saying sets of 20 with 5 pounds. No, you still gotta load that bar, load the machines, get your sets 15 to 20 high reps, and they did react better. All right, I stopped going for the heavy sets of squats of 405 for 3 to 5 reps, but rather I started focusing on longer sets of 20, and kind of shorter rest periods. So kind of high volume, high reps, lower rest period. Yes, of course, the weight dropped that I was using, but my legs started growing. So high reps for legs, it worked well for me at least. All right. Number 2, choose the squat variation that you like. Some people feel better. Not only like, but feel better in your quads. If you're doing a barbell back squat, you don't feel it much, but you feel better, let's say a Smith machine squat on your quads, do that. If you feel better, a hack squat or a goblet squat, do that. Choose a squat variation. Squat variation has to be present in your training. Ideally, you always want one unilateral, but also one where you're pushing with both legs at the same time, like a squat, a goblet squat, a hack squat. Choose the one that you feel. Don't do one because you saw, I don't know, Nick Walker doing it, but choose the one that you feel good and stick with that, and make sure that you it's gonna be a bit it's gonna be a little bit controversial, but even on those squat variation, yes, I said you want to do the high reps, but you want to keep a few heavy sets in, especially if you're natural. Few heavy sets. Most of your sets have to be the high reps, but keep few heavy sets. Let's say on your barbell back squat, you can pyramid the weight up and then going back with the high reps. All right, so a good squat variation that you feel you feel best. Yeah. Oof, I'm tired today, my God. Number 3, slow it down. A lot of people go so fast. I see them on the leg press, they go so fast. I see them on the squats, they go so fast. Slow it down. Slow down the eccentric part. It's okay if you're pushing fast, but as soon as you gotta control the way down, even on the leg press. Push fast, but control it down, and trust me, you will feel a lot better results. Your legs will work in both ways, when you're pushing and when the weight is coming to you. All right, so optimize every single part of that repetition, because if you're just focusing on the time that you're pushing the weight away from you, well, you're only doing half of the exercise, and that's pretty much it. All right, so slow it down. Number 4 would be, don't neglect the hamstring work. Yes, you want big quads, but also it's important that you focus on that hamstring, because it's gonna help you support that quad. All right, do not neglect hamstring. A lot of people have lacking hamstrings and they're not giving them as much attention just because we can't see them. Don't neglect them. Work those hamstrings. See to the hamstring curls. I love them. A hip hinge movement that you enjoy, do that as well. All right, and make sure that you're taking hamstring as seriously as your quads. Some people like separating quads and hamstring. Personally, I like doing all my lower body in the same day. Number 5, pre-exhaustion. When you get to a stage where you become strong enough that you can easily squat, let's say 3 plate, there's no more point of adding more weight. Then the risk of injury becomes higher, and the risk-reward ratio doesn't make any more sense. So now we gotta find ways to keep getting that quad to failure, keep it hard enough, keep it challenging enough, but without necessarily cranking up the weight so heavy that every single set is a risk of you breaking your knees. All right, so what we do in that case, pre-exhaustion. Pre-exhaustion will mean pre-fatiguing the muscle before reaching the compound lift. So it means maybe starting with leg extension before doing your squats. All right, doing some hamstring seated curl before doing your hip hinge movement. It can apply to chest. Doing flies machine before doing your bench press. And that way you'll feel better your bench press, your chest on the bench press, for example. Lower risk of injury. You activate your quads with the leg extension before going on the squat. A lot of people start with the squats, they're not warm enough yet, and all they feel is their lower back and their knees and their glutes. All right, but if you already did that leg extension, well, you will feel your quads a lot better now that you arrive to the squat, because you already pre-fatigued them with the leg extension. All right, lower risk of injury, a better mind-muscle connection, and so on and so forth. So very important, pre-exhaustion, guys. Something that I'm using very much lately, especially because I don't want to use heavy weights when you're in prep, dieting down, you're doing a lot of cardio. You want to get that muscle to failure, you want to use the smartest way. And progressive overload doesn't necessarily mean adding more weight to the bar, but it can also mean slowing down the movement. It can mean controlling the reps better. It can mean more reps. It could mean shorter rest period. So all those things can be a progressive overload. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you liked it and you'll get big quads from it. Questions, leave them down below. Thank you guys. See you soon. Ciao.